Morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Still sleeping? Well, welcome to Wednesday morning's culture training. Okay. This morning we're going to talk about creating levels of management.
The greatest contributor to productivity, customer retention, low turnover, safety, profitability, and growth. Studies indicate that engaged employees are involved in generating all of the organizational profits and customer engagement.
How much of the profits?
All
of them, right? So is it important that we have engaged employees? Yeah, obviously. We want to stay in business. We want to make money. We all want to grow, right? So collectively, engaged employees represent the positive economic force that fuels an organization's profitable growth. So we need to focus on these engaged employees. So what does an engaged employee look like? Manuel?
Okay. Every day we have the opportunity to involve to the new workers in the job, step for step. Step for step. We need show to him. We need feel empathy with we arrive to the projects with the customer. It's really important feel empathy with the customer, and we need show to the new guys these feelings.
Okay. Anybody else?
That kind of person, that kind of worker is always on time, is always trying to help the supervisor or limit. We can see that they are good.
Have a great attitude, always willing to go the extra mile.
Good. Let's see what this says. They use their talents every day. Right? We've talked about talents. They have consistent levels of high performance. Now, who has a perfect day every day? Just Nancy? Oh, and Romero too. Sergio does. We got 3 out of the whole group. All right, Mark's he's jumping on the bandwagon.
I would say Mark and Soriano, but not Chris. Mark and Sergio, not Chris.
Would it be safe to say that most of us don't have a perfect day every day? Is that pretty safe?
Yep.
There's ups and downs. Is your life consistently perfect, or is it consistently crappy, one or the other? We have ups and downs, right? Life is ebb and flow. So consistent levels of high performance. There's intentional building of supportive relationships. They're clear about the desired outcomes of their role. What the heck does that mean?
They know where they're going. They know where they want to be, and they expect to be there by performing doing the other stuff.
Absolutely. So if somebody's clear about where they want to be, okay, they know what their role is, they're clear about it, they know where they want to be, what do they usually do?
Search for that path.
What's that?
Trying to search for that path.
Search for that path. Okay? What if they know what that path is?
Start doing it.
Yeah. Get on it. Start doing it. Start following those steps to climb that ladder. They're emotionally committed to what they do. Romero? What's that mean?
I think what I mean is a person, emotional committed is a person that is fully involved with the company and with the group emotionally.
Yeah, they're dedicated. Right? They're looking out for everybody's interests. They have a high energy and enthusiasm. Is the hardest working guy on your crew usually the Mr. Sleepy? Huh? And I say that because everybody in here, we got Mrs. Sleepy. So I'm just, everybody's sleepy this morning. We're trying to wake up. You gotta have high energy and enthusiasm, okay? And I've got a smile like this, so she can take my picture. So they never run out of things to do, but create positive things to act on.
I was going to go back to the intentional building of supportive relationships. I kind of thought at first was that's what you do with your customers, but really I look back on it and it's what you do in-house. It's how we interact with each other.
I think part of that is too, in dealing with our customers, before we send somebody out to a job site, is there dialogue that takes place?
Absolutely.
What kind of dialogue are we having?
Type of work, when to do it,
Yeah.
what the scope is.
Usually when you go up to a customer, the first thing you start talking about is something else, something that that interests him. Like that, I've seen when you start communicating with a lot of your customers, start talking about camping and guns, and then you end up talking about the project. But you're engaging them first and making them feel comfortable.
See, and it doesn't always have to be the same way I engage, right?
Yeah, no.
I have a specific way that comes naturally to me, and everybody here has that exact same thing. You're gonna communicate with people in your way, so just be you. Don't try to be me. Trust me, we don't want more of me walking around.
Yeah, definitely.
We want you to be you, but engage that customer, engage that person, engage that coworker. They have a commitment to the company, work group, and role. So the managed role with engaged employees. So number one, we need to make them aware of their individual strengths. And we do this by providing continuous feedback on how individual strengths are being used. Right? So what do we need to know?
Let's have other strengths.
Obviously, we need to know what their strengths are, right? So, as the manager, we need to clear the path so that a person can do what they do best without unnecessary distractions. How do you clear the path for us, Shona?
How do I clear the path for you?
Yeah,
For the estimators, I try and make sure all the notifications are done so you don't have to worry about them.
absolutely. That's one less thing I have to worry about, right?
All right.
And so when Shauna takes a notification, she fills it out. If she has some questions at the front end, we talk about it, and she takes care of it. I don't have to worry about it. That's one less thing I need to be concerned about. I can focus on doing what I do. So you need to form a relationship with that an employee wants to stretch for. Glenn, what kind of relationship are we talking here?
A professional relationship. Like my relationship with you, I see how you work, how you get excited about what you're doing, and that makes me want to do my job good, so I can, because how I do my job reflects to the client your work. So I want to make sure, that since I've got a good relationship with you, I want to make you look good as well. So I want to do my.
I need all the help I can get, brother.
Yeah.
I need everybody's help in here to make me look good. I appreciate that. I really like how Glenn said, it's a professional relationship we're striving for. Your energy and enthusiasm, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Glenn, but makes you feel like you want to strive for something more. Is that correct?
Yep, that's kind of what I was going for.
So build trust by showing your commitment to their success. So, are we committed to each other's success?
We have to be. If we're not, then we won't succeed ourselves. We need other people to succeed so the whole group succeeds.
The estimators, with the three of us, we always have a competition going on. Who has the biggest job at the time, who has the most sales, who has the most jobs going on. It changes depending on, if I'm leading in one category.
When have you been leading?
Several times.
Since when? Listen, see that?
Plenty of
Cricket,
times.
cricket.
Oh no. There's so many, we don't have the time to go over all of them in class today.
I can point to some empirical evidence that would show otherwise.
He has everything.
But with when Chris has a success, we celebrate together, right? Or Jeff, or Shauna, or Leah. If any one of us have a success at work, it benefits all of us, right? We're all in this together. If somebody's doing really good and making the company money, we're all happy, right? We all get to keep our jobs, we get to keep growing and being profitable. Mr. Hunter, you as a manager in our office, how do you challenge Leah with her strengths?
I find tasks or projects or things that she is good at naturally, she enjoys, and then try to keep as involved as possible. Granted, I'm a little neglectful at times, but just feedback and just keep challenging her in things that she likes to do, so she keeps striving to do more.
If you're doing something you enjoy doing, are you happier at doing it? Makes your job go by a lot, quicker, it's easier, you're happier, your energy's up. Give each employee ownership and creation of his or her outcomes. Suggest strategies to get to those results and point out progress along the way. Who likes to be micromanaged? To me, this is what it's talking about, is let's set the path, right? Let's set goals, and then step back and let your people do what they do. Let them work on their strengths. Because I don't want to be there every single second telling Shauna, now remember Shauna, we're going to start at 8 a.m. and we're going to be done at 5 p.m. Make sure that's on the notification. Make sure that we've got that the building is 3 floors. I don't want to sit and nitpick her work and micromanage her. Right? Would that make you happy?
No.
If I'm sitting over your shoulder the whole time?
No.
No, you'd hate it and I hate it. So results of the engaged, what? They're 15 times more likely than actively disengaged workers to recommend their company as a workplace to work. 15 times. Did you know that, Nancy?
I did, actually.
Did you know that there's 16 times, we're going to kick it up a notch, more likely to stay at their current role employs, that their current role employs their individual strengths? So 16 times more likely that their role uses their strengths. They're 3 times more likely to be satisfied with their current compensation plans and benefits. They can spend their entire career at their present company. That's pretty impressive. When you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, I've worked here for 40 years. Wow. That impresses me. What is it about that company or that individual that made them stay there for 40 years? So here's the self-assessment of the engaged. They're 11 times more likely than their actively disengaged comrades to indicate that they are extremely satisfied with their current company as a place to work. They're 4 times more likely to evaluate their condition of life as excellent. They're twice as likely to say that they are extremely satisfied with their personal lives. Then you have the not engaged. So we have the actively engaged, we have engaged, and we have the not engaged. We have 3 levels of engagement here, okay? So the not engaged employee. The difference between this group and the engaged is twofold. First, their impact on business outcomes is not as significant. That's a given, right? Second, they exhibit gaps in levels of engagement, which makes them less predictable as a group. So there's no consistency. Who's ever seen somebody come to work really hard for, 2 or 3 days, and then you don't see them the rest of the week? They just don't show up. It's excuse after excuse after excuse, they just don't show up. Is that a gap in their performance?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the not engaged employee may share the values and the mission of their team and organization, but lack precision in terms of the expectations of their role. So maybe they just don't know what their job is. They don't know, the details of their job. And that's why we've written up cards, right, that have the employees' roles on them. We're trying to help break it down into steps. Make it easier for everybody to comprehend and understand. For many not engaged employees, they are in transit. They are waiting for an opportunity to become fully engaged. So, who's ever felt that at any point in time in their life? It doesn't have to be, when they're working here. It could be working somewhere else. Anybody have an experience?
Yeah. When I first started, my whole family was in California, and I was out here by myself. And I remember I would go back to California to visit. My wife was still out there, and I was taking an extra couple of days more. Jim, I wanted to fire me. But it was more because I had my family out there.
Yeah.
But once they moved out here, and I spent more time with the company, I started getting to know everybody. It was a lot better. And if you ask me right now if I want to go back, I wouldn't go back.
Well, you don't want to move back to California?
No. I love it here. I mean, I love where I work. I love the people that I work with, and I think it's one of the best companies that I ever worked for.
See, and I think thank you for sharing, Chris, because it's a prime example, in my opinion, of this. So the not engaged employee profile is, these guys meet the basics. There's confusion or inability to act with confidence. Now, people who are new and are first starting with the company, they're not bad people, right? Are they confused on what to do? Yeah, if we as managers haven't done our job in explaining, what we do and how we do it, let's be specific and teach everybody the correct, steps from the beginning. They have low risk response and commitment. Well, I might be back from California on Wednesday,
Come back.
and we'll see you next week.
Come back Monday.
Yeah, because he say I come back on Monday. And
I'll
he
come
show
back
on
on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And he shows up.
That's why Chima wanted to fire him.
Yeah.
Not engaged.
Now he want to work.
So there's no real sense of achievement. And to me, that's a measuring device, right? If they don't know, how to feel that or have that sense of achievement, it's because they don't know how to measure their input or what they put into the day. Does that make sense? So I think it's important that we set little goals. I mean, you can set a goal for the day, but you've got to break it down into bite-sized pieces. To me, if I set a goal for the entire day, I want to get this entire room done, I've got to break that up into at least 4 bite-sized pieces, 4 segments. And then we're going to work for a couple hours and evaluate to see if we've got that first section done. And if we have, great. I'm going to talk to the crew and explain, hey guys, look, we've met our first goal for the day. We've only been in here a couple of hours. And then so on and so forth until we've met our daily goal. But if you just set a daily goal and you start working on it, by noon, you need to be halfway done, right? If you're not talking to your people and explaining what you as a manager, what your goal is, nobody's going to know. They're just going to be going with the flow. There's possible commitment to organization, but not always to the role or the work group. So they might feel a commitment to the brand, Eagle Environmental, but they don't care about working with Carlos Torres, or Marvin, working with Glenn. And they'll speak frankly about negative views. They'll go, man, my family's in California. This sucks to be out here by myself.
I never said that. I just didn't come.
But this is something we as managers need to look out for, is this not engaged profile, okay? Is it always going to come out in this order?
No.
Is it going to manifest itself just like this so you can recognize it? No, obviously it's not. This is the real world. Say that again,
You'll
Jerry.
see little things here and there, but you won't see all that in the sequence, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the manager's role of the not engaged. Review the demands of each role. Clarify the desired outcomes of these roles. Tweak the fit to the role if necessary. If you have to move people in new roles that better fit their talent combination, make it happen. Use a direct dialogue so that you can get the feedback you need to address the problem. One thing I'm trying to do with my kids is just make sure they understand that no matter what, there's an open door of communication. Do you lie to someone to not hurt their feelings? Or do you go up to someone and say, Chris, your breath smells terrible today. I'm sorry, but you need a breath mint.
I'm okay with that as long as you don't say sorry.
But is it better for me to lie to Chris and be like, hey, yeah, you're doing great, you look good. Yeah. And then walk away and be like, oh my gosh.
Well, you just give them a breath mint. Yeah, Chris, I got an extra breath mint.
You need one of these.
Yeah.
I think you have to find a way to talk.
Your friends are going to be honest with you, and they're going to talk to you. Now, if I say that to Chris, and I say it in a belittling manner, they'll be like, dude, you're such a slob, you never brush your teeth. And I'm using Chris as an example because I know he can handle this, okay? We have this conversation back and forth.
We
okay?
have this conversation all the time. It's like, dude, you know what? If you have any gum, you should use it.
Yeah.
That's what we say. Did you have any breath mints? Why? Because you need one. Oh, okay, my bad.
But by having that open communication, we can help each other, right? Have direct dialogue with your coworkers, with your crew, with people you work with. You don't have to be belittling. You don't have to degrade them in any manner. You want to treat them with dignity, kindness, and respect. Right? The same way you want to be treated. So just approach them in a friendly manner and have a talk about whatever it is they need to work on. All right? So measure progress toward outcomes by rating the performance and never the person. So the actively disengaged, this group accounts for most of the waste in terms of lost work days, incredibly high safety costs, higher levels of turnover, and low productivity and customer defection. So these are the guys we really need to watch for. Okay? Someone who's not engaged, we can really help them and work with them. Somebody who's actively disengaged, these guys are knowingly going out and sabotaging. Collectively, this group stagnates the growth of a company and represents the most significant challenge to its profitability. They are living and breathing obstacles to meeting customer requirements. So, Guillermo, if you were the boss, you're the owner, what would you do with actively disengaged employees?
You need to get rid of them. They're going to cost a lot of money,
They're going to cost a ton of money.
a lot of trouble.
So we need to look for these people and identify them up front Either get them switched over quickly or get them out of here.
They will take the most time out of all the management supervisors leaving. They are a time drainer if they don't switch.
So facts about the actively disengaged. Levels of disengagement may not be due to individual's choice, but rather in serious gaps in the fulfillment of their emotional needs. The problem for most organizations is that on an average, a full 30% of the actively disengaged workers still plan to be there, be with a company a year hence. So a normal reaction starts with resistance, low trust. Who's ever heard this? I'm okay, everyone else is not. You know, it's everybody on the crew that's a problem, not me. You know, and it's excuse after excuse. Or, man, everybody on the road's a bunch of idiots. I can't come to work on time because traffic, you know, I had a tire problem, whatever. My car was stolen. We've heard that before.
My fish is sick.
Fish is sick. There's low commitment to the company, work group, and role.
My fish is sick.
They'll isolate themselves, you know. Inside of a big work area, you've got a group of guys working over here, and you got one individual doing their own thing over here. They won't eat lunch with anybody else. They won't engage. They won't speak frankly about negative views, but will act out frustration either overtly or covertly. What's that mean to you, Regan?
Basically hold things in and don't communicate until it's too late, blow up on you, kind of situation.
And a lot of times the only reason they blow up because you pretty much you're talking to them about what's going on. How come they're not engaged, they're not doing their part? That's when they blow up to try to switch you to a different direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're trying to change the focus.
Reflect.
So the manager's role. I think this is our last slide, guys, so we'll finish this up. Address the problem as soon as possible. Talk to the person involved rather than the people about how to address the problem. So talk to that individual straight up. Use direct, upfront language. Present the real problems to avoid confusion. Help the person understand that they have to move out of the problem and into the solution. There's some people, all they can do is focus on the problem, and they can't move to that next step, which is, okay, here's some solutions to the problem. Let's start working on that solution rather than continually focus on this problem. Has anybody ever seen that? It's frustrating, right? Review the talent fit for the role. So focus on their talents. What are their talents? Identify what they are, and then see what role you can put them into. You need to tweak their role, adjust it, make that happen. Create trust by talking more about outcomes than about the steps needed to get there. So don't micromanage them. That's it, guys.